What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the KDK Podcast. This is Kong.
What's up? It's Dala.
This is cool.
Today we have another good friend of ours, a childhood friend, day one. His name is Matt, also known as Bboy, Monsta Matt.
What's good, Monsta Matt?
What up? What up? Yo, what's up, everybody?
And you know, with the pandemic going on, you know, we've been kind of social distancing. How you been, man?
Yo, I'm good, man. I'm super excited to be a part of this podcast. Shout out to KDK Podcast. Much love to you guys for having me here. So,
Anytime.
And yeah, for all of you who don't know, Matt also goes by the name of Bboy Monsta Matt because he's a b-boy and he's a dope b-boy, man, competing all over the states. And since that's one of your talents, Matt, can you tell us how and why you got into breaking?
So breaking, the terminology I got was breakdancing, and I got through it with my nephew, my older nephew. It sounds kind of weird because I'm their uncle, but then they're older than me. Got a big family, so they introduced me to breakdancing, and how I got into it. I mean, I just thought it was something cool to do, you know, like. Man, I saw them doing it. It was pretty cool. And I was like, man, I want to be just as cool as them. So that was kind of like the feeling, you know, in my childhood days.
Was that just at the house? You guys? Or
We
was it
lived
like somewhere?
Brooklyn Park. Yeah, Brooklyn Park. We stayed in the Sapasai complex, and we used to all just break downstairs.
How old were you?
I was probably like 12 years old.
12?
Yeah, 12 years old
Damn,
at that time.
Because I remember, because we know each other way back then. I remember I would see you a lot.
Yo.
And at that time, I would break, but I didn't think you weren't breaking at that time. I remember I always see you'd always come to our cousin's house and we'd always see you. We'd hang out and I'll just see Matt. And sometimes we'll be breaking and you'll be like watching us sometimes.
Yes, sir. Yo.
That was like way back then. I was like, damn.
Which cousin, cool?
Sean. Yeah.
Sean,
Yeah,
who comes to Matt?
Sean's house in Brooklyn Center. And
Wow.
then he'd always come hang out
Yep.
here and there. And
Spiky here and all that.
And that was the time when I actually met Zeus too. Was it well, I didn't meet Zeus until later because crazy story is that so Sean Lee used to date my niece.
The rapper Sean Lee.
Then my niece's older brother was the one that introduced me into breaking. You know, his name was David Sean. You know, and then so they were dating at the time, and I met Sean, and then one time I think it was Sean's birthday. We went over there, and all of a sudden the dude started doing scrambles and shit. You know, they call it scrambles. You know,
Who was the Skittles scramble?
Sean. He used to rock his fresh ass white Air Force Ones. You know, with his baggy ass shorts, and he's always wearing those long tees. You know, back in the days, with spiky hair. You know, earrings and stuff like that. And then, it was his birthday, and then all of a sudden, they throw on the music, and he just started doing scrambles. And I'm like, damn, I was like, man, he got some fresh-ass moves, you know? Yeah, and I was like, but then at that time, I only knew power, you know what I'm saying? Like, at that time, I only knew, like, apple jacks, donkey kicks, and, all that.
Where you learn that?
Yeah.
I mean, we were just a little kid, and he just, I guess, I don't know where I learned it, I don't. But apple jacks, like, back in the days.
Apple jacks, you don't really have to learn how to. You just watch it.
You just do it. It's just something you just do.
But there's some people who are good at
Yo,
sport.
some people are freaking good, though.
Yo.
Okay.
Especially the double apple jacks where you go really far back and you're like hanging in the sky for like a good 5-10 seconds. Yeah. And really, oh damn, that dude's a beast.
So that being said, what would you say was your first official move that you learned?
I would say it was the donkey kick.
That's
Donkey
like
kick.
you consider that like a official move?
Yeah.
Battle. Like, how much you do?
Official move
does that.
official move that you have to actually like practice and train on and then try to master. I would say it was probably the apple jacks. It was the apple jacks because. You got to clap it on time. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the days, people didn't clap. Like, if you didn't know how to clap it, and then, lift one leg up, like, You weren't that legit. But then we got the dude that comes out and he knows how to clap and then boom, kick his leg up, clack and boom, kick both of the leg up. And you're like, yo, that dude is just massive the Applejacks, bro.
That's so cool. Gotta hit like the side of your face too, like, dude.
Yo, I don't think there's any other move that utilizes the soul clap while bragging, bro.
For real.
That's crazy.
And like, if y'all don't know, the donkey kick is when you just stand up, you jump on your hands, and you're on hands, and you go back on your feet, and you repeat that, boom, boom,
like a
boom.
donkey.
And then
Pretty
the
much like
Applejack
donkey,
is that shit is hard to explain exactly.
You're
But
like,
just just look it up, man. But back then, a lot of people did use that clap technique, man.
Yo.
That's crazy.
You know, like, sometimes, like, you're not that flexible. Your leg curls up when you kick both your legs up. So then you see guys, like, hella flexible. Then you're like, dang, they hold it up for, like, 5-10 seconds. So you go home and you start stretching for hours just to make sure you can make it look legit. And it's like this. And your legs literally up to your face like this. And you just, like, boom, arching. So it's kind of like a hollowback. But in a way, it looks like a hollowback. But I don't know.
That's a high-ass Applejack, double Applejack, yeah.
So did you join any crews and stuff too prior to like the other crews like Collab and everything? Like, was there any other crews you had before that, Matt?
I wouldn't say crew. I think it was more like a clique.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it was just like homies that I met, and then they was breakdancing at the same time. Like they knew the same moves too. So like at that time, like Applejacks, worms, scrambles. If y'all don't know, Skittles, back in the days in our time, we call it, Top Rocks, we call it Skittles. I didn't know what the hell Top Rock was till later on. But, I had like, see here, 4, 5, 7 guys, I can't really remember. Mm-hmm. I was only like 12 years old at that time. But I was a pretty bad kid at that time too, So like, I guess breaking was kind of like an excuse for me to, just do all this, compared to doing other stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you guys have a name for your clique? Like a crew name?
No, we didn't.
It was just like, hey, these are the guys I hang out with and we break and everything.
Yeah.
So I got a couple moves. And then how did it eventually go from that to like meeting the collaboration guys and others?
So we moved. That's what happened. My parents and them, they moved, and it wasn't too far from where I lived, but then the school district is what changed everything. I had to go to a new school, and my parents wanted me to go to a new school too, by the way. They're like, you ain't hanging out with those kids no more. So they would transfer, and then that kind of had like a altering life change for me once I after I turned 13. So that was like after 7th grade, and then 8th grade, they didn't really know anybody. And then and then I just happened to meet some of the guys. I guess I found out that they breakdancing one time. Like, I don't know if you guys know the brother Monjo from our crew, right now. I met him at my house, and my sister was his friend. And I was like, hey, I heard you breakdance, And he was like, yeah, I do a little. And I just started doing the L kick, in front of him. And I was like, hey, man, I got some moves too. So then, like, so that's how I remember him. If you talk to him, he'll tell you that story too. Yeah. Maybe when you guys get him on the podcast. At that time, I was working on the L kick. I was trying to master the L kick at that time. I think the Applejack, it was like kind of dead by that time, Like Applejack's kind of like when you first start, like, you do it at like, Sadie Hawkins or whatever, like the dance schools, you go out there. Yeah, but then, L kick right there, when you can hold that shit pretty long, like 5-10 seconds, then you're legit. So it was the formation that I was working on. But yeah, I was just showing off to him. He was like, and he knows the story too. He always tell me, like, man, the first time I met you, man, you did an L kick to me. I'm like, the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. So that's how I met Joe. Then Joe introduced me to Roger, Paul, and then those guys. They were getting down together at that time. And then I just happened to be, the random person that just started getting down with them, and that's how Collab kind of started. Yeah.
Okay.
Dope. So then, that being said, what would you say, or do you remember your first like official battle, and how did it feel like battling with your actual first battle?
Yeah, it was pretty nerve wracking, Like you haven't been in front of like a crowd. It was a 1-on-1 too, so that's even like it builds an adrenaline rush, and then like especially for 1-on-1s, like it's just you against another person, and people want to see what y'all got. It was in Wisconsin.
And you went to Wisconsin for your first official battle? Dang,
Yeah.
out of state.
Yeah, it was in Wisconsin, and that was when we wasn't really a part of like the mainstream yet, as in like we didn't know no other local people except like Hmong people, you know. So we just found out, oh, there's some Hmong cats in Wisconsin that break dance too. And then YouTube was the shit back in the days where they'll post up the trailer, and then we'd be like, oh man, these guys are Hmong, you know what I'm saying? Then we eventually like, you know, met each other online, and then Zeus, you know, knew Bboy Jakes, you know, and then they told us about a jam out there. So my first battle was against Bboy Dumb, you know. I don't know if you go by Bboy Dumb anymore, but the homie Cow, you know, shout outs to the homie Cow. So that was my first battle ever, and yeah, it was alright. You know, it was alright.
Wait, was there?
I post some moves. I post some moves on, you know.
Was it like elimination judging style battle, or was it like y'all just met up and just decided to battle?
It was an exhibition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it was not the only exhibition. It was an exhibition between people from my crew against, you know, people from in Wisconsin too. So a bunch of other people too. Like there was Monkey Control Crew. There's Sidewinders. You know, shout out to Sidewinders. Those guys are pretty nasty when they were in the prime. So those guys, like, it was mainly just those three groups at that time, and that was the very first jam that we ever had, and there was no like competition for like money or anything. It was just all fun, you know.
Yeah,
you met up with the guys, just like, oh, y'all break? Oh shit, we break too. Let's show each other some skills, and let's, you know, get one of your guys that has similar style to one of our guys and see, you know, and see how hype it is, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then talking about like your first move in your first battle, when was like the moment, if you remember, or like around what time did you realize that breaking was like something you were passionate about and you were gonna take serious?
It was when I started finding out that, you know, it wasn't just a local thing, because when it first started, it was like you just did it because you hung out with certain friends, you know. And then as you do that, and then there was like certain friends that you hung out with wanting to go beyond that, and then, you know, you start to meet other people like universally, like from out of state and stuff, and then the hype started building up. I'm like, oh man, like there's a lot of good people out there, and you start getting inspired by these people too, and then you start realize that there's connection, and you build like a unity and, you know, community that you know that you can go to. And then I thought that was really dope, like, and then it just give you a perspective like, man, like I really like this, you know. It's not just something that I do that is cool, it's something that I do that, you know, I want to just show some moves, but it's more like an art form. You start to understand it's more like an art form. People look at it as like a lifestyle too. You know, for example, like, you know, taking care of your body. Look at me not taking care of your body. I don't even break like that anymore. But, you know, I miss it. But at that time, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always all good vibes. And that's what I like about it.
Okay.
Is there a certain year within your breaking development where you felt like, all right, I'm pretty good at this? Like, for example, like after 4 years, you felt like you were pretty good. After X amount of years, so that was kind of like piggybacking on Kong. Yeah. So is there an X amount of years that you felt like I'm pretty good at this?
Yeah, I got really serious when my sophomore year, and one of the battles that I attended was called Future Breaks. And that was a battle to
What year was that?
See, I was a sophomore, so I gotta do the math real quick. I'm not good at math. I think that's 2005.
Or how many years into breaking have you were like
that too?
4 years into breaking?
Until I got serious.
Until
to
you
that
felt,
jam,
until that
Future
moment.
Break
Yeah.
Oh, okay. From when I started to until that year.
Yeah. How long were you breaking?
Oh, okay. So I started probably 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 3
Three,
years.
about 4 years, you could say, because I started when I was 12. Yeah.
All right.
About 4 years. About 4 years into the game, and then started to feel like, you know, I want to take it serious. Because my freshman year, it was because when I met the guys, when I transferred to a different school, I met the guys, and they made me realize how serious it was for them. You know, they were like good people, you know, like they weren't like, you know, I'm not saying that the people that hung out was really bad, you know, they're good people too, but it's just more like the things that I was involved with, you know, when I first started, like it wasn't just strictly breakdancing, you know. I tell them that these guys went to a different school and all they did was just breakdance every single day. And I was like, man, this is different. I like this. So, and then when I turned like, you know, 15, 16, my sophomore year, I took it really serious. Like there was this jam that I really wanted to enter, and I went to the finals. But then I didn't win it, but first runner up, and I was super excited to take that jam because I knew that I was gonna go to New York, or I think it was Chicago actually. So it was a plane trip to Chicago to go to against the next competitors. So it was kind of like a mini jam, and you're going to a bigger jam, and then after that you go to like the finals.
Yep.
So it's kind of freestyle session, in a way. Yeah, but a lot smaller. But yeah, that was when I started taking competition really serious.
Okay. So when you first started breaking, who were some of the crews or b-boys that inspired you?
I say locally for sure, the people that I know, Propaganda for sure. Those guys, shout out to Propaganda, which is AKA Break Cops, AKA
Yo, I think
Power Rangers, and AKA.
I think they're like the staple for inspiring, like all the other Minnesota guys.
Yeah.
They're like the staples for sure, definitely.
Yeah, they showed a lot of love too. They weren't just guys who were like you knew about, and that like you're like, all right, one day I want to be just like them. You know what I'm saying? It was more like yo, you guys break too? Where you guys from? Like when you go out there, you see some pretty dope b-boys, and you kind of like, you kind of shy to talk to them, but they're not shy. They show a lot of love. They be like, hey man, if you guys ever need a place to get down, come to my place. We get down here, and we're like, oh hell yeah. And that's when we went to Minnesota Joe's house, and I'm like, man, this dude got a big ass house. like, do I gotta be rich to be this good? Yeah. I was good, but we always give a shit about that.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, I ain't rich, bro.
other than locally, like just in general, who were some of the b-boys that inspired you?
B-boys, for sure. B-boy Zeus. Shout out to my brother from my crew. He has probably one of the biggest impact. He introduced me to like. He is probably the one that knows more about like not just local like events and stuff like that, but he knew the people that started with him at that time. So then without him, we would have never knew, like, for example, Propaganda. There was this monk cat from Propaganda. His name was Lee, and Zeus knew about him, and this is when Zeus was started getting down with us. He just first started he was he had to travel the state because he was in the service at the same time too. And the fun things that we used to write letters with each other as well. He'd be like, man, I miss you guys. I can't wait till I come back and we can get down again.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he did that with you guys too. And that was when but that was when you guys didn't know the other guys collaboration yet. I almost said collaboration. But anyways, going back to the question, my bad, I kind of lost myself.
Like who
like b-boys or crews?
Yeah.
Like
B-boy Zeus. I'm just gonna name them straight off the bat. B-boy Zeus. We got B-boy Digi, brother from our crew. We got Minnesota Joe. We got Bryce. Bryce was Booty Juice, B-boy Booty Juice at that time from Hungry Hippos.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah. Digi, he's the originator of Hungry Hippos as well. Stepchild for sure. That's kind of like my grandmaster. Dude, I still today, like I'm a student of everybody. I always want to be a student, but I think that guy, like he showed a lot of love too. So Stepchild, he's I would say he's one of the OGs in Minnesota for the breaking scene. Like he goes way farther back than Zeus, Digi and all those guys. So definitely Stepchild. We got Craze too. And just a lot of the brothers that connected with that, keep me on the right path, and I'm super happy for that, because if it wasn't for them, maybe I would have probably stopped breaking and never knew about the scene itself and what hip hop and what b-boying could do for me, so.
What were some b-boys that not like the b-boys you named that impacted you directly, but more like you're watching and inspires you through their skill, but you don't know them like that, like the more like famous, well-known b-boys?
I would say b-boy YouTube for sure. YouTube was popping at the time, so
not just YouTube, like just like well-known b-boys or crews that you felt like did impact you in a way too.
See here. Self-X for sure. Shout out to Self-Explanatory. When I saw those guys at the jam, Craze, Johnny Craze, he hosted Falling with Style in Minnesota, and that was like the biggest event in Minnesota. You could say one of the biggest events in Midwest at that time. And he wouldn't work his ass off to fly out. Some of the b-boys come out and compete too, so much like Johnny Craze. But when I saw those b-boys at that time, like self-X and motion disorders. Much love to the brothers from, another state in the Midwest. Like those guys, I was like, damn, they're on a different level. When I saw Bboy Miho, when I saw Bboy Alex and Bboy Dizzy, and then from self-X, I saw, it was Del Real. Del Real. My bad, guys. I forgot to give a shout out to my guys, Bboy Sequel and Imagine them too. Those two guys, and Bboy Jason and Bboy Damien. They those 4 guys, they were on a different level in Minnesota, and that's how I kind of met self-X in them too, because some of those guys, they're from self-X, and got introduced to motion disorders in them through propaganda them as well. So there was just a connection. So yeah, for sure, Miho, Del Real too. I think his name was Del Real.
Yep.
Yeah, Del Real, right?
I remember him. Yeah, fresh. Boy.
He was probably one of the guys that I saw that I was like, damn, motivating me to footworking, because his footwork is so crisp. I was like, man. And the same goes for Sequel and Imagine them too. I was like, I want to learn from these guys. I want to learn more. I want to connect more, and that's kind of how, people ask me what's my style. I like that. That's kind of how I got to footwork. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But other than that, yeah, there's different inspirations from out there in the world that I don't really know personally too. For example, I'm happy to meet Bboy Born, and those guys, Bboy Casper, those guys. And when I YouTube in the days, I see those guys, and I'm like, damn, these guys are, I want to learn more. So when I saw how they got down, I started to dig into more why they got down that way. Mm-hmm. Not because, I like their style, and then kept looking at the same videos that they post and their battles. I started digging more. I started seeing documentaries, what they do and how they kind of grew up and got into the, I found out that he was a popper. Casper was pops. Oh, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when I got interested in popping too. So it kind of just evolves from there, and you start to get interested in all five different elements of hip hop. Started becoming a rapper sometimes too. You know what I'm saying?
So Matt, I know that you were also one of the guys who really broke that barrier from home B-boys, from being power heads to what they call style heads. Because you were really into footworking, being super fresh, having some attitude. Kind of we were saying, Casper Born, and then that swag. How did that happen to you? How did you break out of that mold and everything for home?
That's a good question, man. And a lot of people, I sometimes wish that they could understand that right when they start, learning about, breaking, itself. I still learn every day. I'm not saying that I know everything about it, but when you start to understand the culture of it, it just gives you a different image, and this is really, really dope. So it's I don't know, it's hard to explain the feeling. It's kind of like
you're not just
you're not just trying to do 90s no more. Man, I could bust 3 90s.
I am, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my favorite move.
Back in the days, if you could bust 2 to 3 90s, man, that was dope.
Yeah.
But then when you come out there and you start doing forward, people look at you you look crisp as hell. You just different. Yeah. I think that at that time, style was so underrated. Especially in our scene.
Yeah.
Because we're such a small scene compared to California, obviously New York, and all those guys, right? I feel Midwest, especially in Minnesota, it was such a small scene, right? That I feel that if I develop and learn that tradition of the culture, or learn that, the culture of that tradition, or whatever, vice versa, I think that it would be something really dope to learn and pass on the show.
Yeah.
So I feel I want to take that step. I don't want to just be the guy that comes out and has the straightest, flares, and that dude has the higher flare. His form looks way better than his flares. I thought that that mentality was pretty trash, and I was like, man, that's too much competition in people's head.
Yeah.
Trying to compete with each other. I feel it was more learning style and learning footwork and learning the tradition, the fundamentals of things instead of doing power and stuff like that. I felt that it was more important. Mm-hmm. There's a story behind it, because you just got there and be I got better flares than you, or your flares look better. There's not really a story behind it, unless you be yeah, man, I have 6 hours of practice doing the same shit for 7 years, and I finally mastered my flare. But what else you got to show after that? It doesn't take 6 years to do 6 steps. you know.
Yeah.
But then it probably takes 6 years to do 6 step to master the 6 step in your own style. You can make it look different.
Yeah.
So style makes everything look different. You know, you can make
Yeah.
power look different with style too. You know, style is not just style like footwork and stuff like that though. Style can be more like power too.
Yeah.
If you make the power look different. You know.
Yeah, I think you kind of touch on like more about like the essence of breaking too, right? Like you know when someone understands the essence of breaking, like whatever they're doing, like B-Boy Kevo, right? He's known for like power moves, but he has the essence of a B-Boy, right? So I guess it's just something like you said, you can't teach, you just gotta understand. You know, you can't teach that, you know.
And it's hard to teach when you try to talk to people too. Like when you get out there and you start doing it, and when you start to feel it, that's when people will see. That's when they will know. People will know.
Yeah.
People will look at you and be like, either this guy's been doing his research, or you know, like, or he's biting somebody I don't know. Yeah, that's really dope.
Dude, I've always hated when people like categorize people like, oh, he a powerhead. Oh, he does style. Like, what? That's so corny. Like,
but
I think a lot of
there's truth to it too, though. There's truth to it.
There's like style and power and just power and footwork. You know, you can tell when someone has like aggressive footwork. You're like, damn, that's like. Just like fucking powerful as fuck. You know, that's so powerful. Cause they're like, they do it so aggressive. It's like, oh dang, because you can feel the energy when they do that. So it's like, damn, he has power. But if there's like style to like a power move too, like, oh dang, the way he does it is like, it's so different from what everyone does it, or it's so fresh. Just like a footwork is so fresh, and if someone does like a power, and it just looks so fresh when they do it. I'm like, damn. Because I just feel like when people are, oh, you a style head or a power head? I'm like, I mean,
nowadays
it kind of makes them stick to one category too. So I'm like, man, I really don't like categorizing people. I mean, he does power, but if he just does like a regular power move, then okay, then you could consider a power head. But it kind of makes them stick to just that style.
But it really depends on the person though, because if that person strictly does power only, then you could just say, all right, he's a power head.
Yeah.
You know, like,
you can tell too.
Yeah, you know.
You can be like, oh, wait till he start doing floor. Oh, yeah, he's a power head.
Yeah. It's funny because like even people categorize people back then by moves, right? Yeah. Oh, that's the lotus guy. That's the head spin guy. That's the intro guy.
But so that's why I feel like, because usually the people who just does straight power, they consider them a power head. So all right, if you consider yourself that, but I feel like you just calling yourself that, you're kind of just saying, oh yeah, I'm sticking to the like. You're just all right, cool, man. You're just limiting yourself.
But Matt, I still remember too, and so Hmong New Year's, we used to always meet up at the back stage of River Center, and I remember like meeting, like seeing Matt, and then Matt was like getting down. And I was like, then this dude got some little swag, you know, he like top rocking hella fresh and everything, getting down doing some 6-step hella clean while everybody's doing like flares, and one person goes out to try to do 2 flares, like competing move wise. But that's always kind of been how breaking at Hmong New Year is for us. You know, it's kind of like challenging each other's moves. But then Matt was getting down doing footworks, doing fresh ass tops. And I remember Matt
actually getting down. Yeah.
And I remember Matt was talking to me. He was like, yo, what you got? You got some moves? And I was like, yeah, I got some like scrambles and stuff. And then Matt was like, oh, it's not called scrambles. It's called footwork, bro. Scrambles is an old word. That was the first time I learned, like, oh, shit, okay. It's not called scrambles no more. Like, it's actually called footwork. Like, yeah, I just remember that moment, too, from my boy, Matt.
Honestly, I don't even know the history of scramble and skills. Like, I just feel that, like.
I remember old people saying that.
Yeah. You know, like, but it's crazy because, like, if you actually talk to, like, I mean, it's like everybody have their own history and their culture where they actually came from before they start breaking. You know, like our culture is more like, you know, before we started learning like the actual like name of certain moves, you know, because when you go out there and you tell people, yeah, I know how to do scramble, and they're gonna look at you like, oh, but they know that, but then at the back there, they know that this dude's different. He probably, you know, he probably doesn't understand, or we have to teach him, or that's just his history. You know, as me growing up, I feel like that's just our history.
Yep.
You know, like I feel like, you know, sometimes when you talk, you know, when I started breaking that time, and I didn't mean to come up to you be like, no, that ain't scramble.
No, it was a good learning experience for me. Like I didn't look at it like, oh, damn, why he corrected me? But I was like, oh, okay, cool, okay.
It's like you're spreading the knowledge.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, cause that's how I learned it.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, like the OGs in Minnesota, the older folks, you know, they taught me, you know. When you start to learn like specific names for specific moves, and when you start to learn how to do it, it feels good. Because you're not just because I believe like cats back in the days they call it scramble because you just trying to do as much as you can, you know, like you don't even know like the
It's
exact step, the exact
ground.
formation, you know, which I understand why they call it scramble, you know, because they probably didn't know the names of the specific moves that they had to learn. Because when you know and you do it, and then it processes through your mind, and then you know what it represents. That's what makes you. I say, you know, that's how you probably develop your style, you know, so your swag, you know.
And
like some people aren't flexible, you know. For example, like Kool-Aid, you know, he nasty as hell. Like he don't he can't do a flare, but he can do something like, you know, those floats,
what
you
you
know.
mean I can't do flare. I can do the stiff one.
yeah, like his
almost pencil flare.
Yeah, but some like other dance styles have different terminology too. Like when someone's in a different dance, footwork to them is when you're standing up. Dancing. But when we're getting down on all four of our hands and legs, we call that footwork. But when we're dancing, standing up, that's not called footwork. But other people are like, oh, dude, look at that footwork. But it's just different terminologies.
Yep.
So, but my question to you here is, throughout all the years you've been breaking, what would you say was the best accomplishment?
Accomplishment?
Yeah, what would you say was your
accomplishments?
best accomplishment
Don't need to be just one.
throughout your breaking career?
Yeah, there's a lot actually. Honestly, without you guys and, you know, my crew in general, there wouldn't be, you know, any accomplishment at all. To be honest, like it's hard to be a b-boy on your own and, you know, try to be successful and try to, you know, be a part because you always want people to motivate you. Obviously, you know, like if you don't have that, then there's not much to motivate, and that's the hard part. You know, like I give shout outs to people who, you know, get down with the stuff. Like that's mad love. You know, but biggest accomplishment, jam wise, your competition wise, or just in general.
Just anything that you look back on, like this is my accomplishment that I'm like proud, or I'm proud to say, I'll accomplish this.
I say, so there was a trip that my brother bought me a plane ticket, and we were going to what's that jam called again?
Is it Florida?
Yeah, Florida. It was
Freestyle session.
No,
I know
it was
what you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
Evolution.
Evolution. It was Evolution 3 in Florida, Fort Lauderdale. You know, I wish that you guys would have experienced Fort Lauderdale Evolution. That shit was so dope, man. It was the first time actually, like, you know, being a young guy coming from like a small scene, and then the only state that you ever actually traveled to was Wisconsin, you know, and then at that time I was only like 16, you know, and that was only when that was when I started being serious, you know, and I don't know, like I told my brother, I was like, you know, there's this jam coming up, you know, Johnny Crazy and them told me about it, and the boy named Max One wants me to go out there, and then he was like, if you come out, you know, I'll get you a place to stay and everything, I'll help you out. He showed hella love, you know, shout out to Max One, you know, rest in peace, brother. Hope you're doing good up there. But yeah, that was when that's probably one of my biggest life-changing experience ever about breaking, you know. It's when I first met Thesis too, and, you know, one of the top dogs that are coming, you know, in the game, like, you know, I met Thesis, and then I met, who else did I met? Oh, I forgot his name.
Bunch of international cats for sure.
Yeah,
Like all the Red Bull guys too?
No,
Or
they
you
don't
just
like.
took
It's
the
just
That was
no.
before Red Bull, wasn't it?
I met Mig 187 as well. See here, I met a lot of the Knucklehead Cali and Knucklehead Zoo guys, and some of the Zulu guys. I met see here, the Texas homies. Just a bunch of them. You know, it's been just so long that I just kind of, you know, I'm brain farting right now because I don't remember their names, but
I mean, that happened
for sure, like, you know, like when I went there, right? Yeah, of course I saw Gambler, right? You know, Gambler was like, oh man, they were the top crew to beat back in the days. And I was like, I was on 16-year-old. I was studying next to Bboy Darkness, and I was like,
damn,
like, man, this the guy that hold, you know, he does the
Finger
one,
90.
he does the one hand thing, you know,
Finger 90
like,
guy, man.
yeah.
Damn.
And then yeah. Anyways, that was probably one of my biggest experiences because it's crazy that it was actually my first out-of-state call-out battle. So I beat the Japanese b-boy that was homie with I Love Footwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he called me out and he called me out, and I was like, all right, shit. And then we were having a footwork battle, you know. So we went like 5-6 rounds, and then seeing those Japanese people, like, they're crazy, like, dude, they're like, it's like next level. It's like, it's so crazy, like being a little kid, you know. You see all these like B-boys getting down outside, you know. They going downtown. I was 16 years old. I went downtown, you know, and it's just crazy. It's just nuts. Like a lot of good experience, you know, and really good experience, and so much to say about it too. It's just crazy when you just meet people worldwide. It remind me of a freestyle session. When you go out a freestyle session, World Finals, it's just like that, but you say more urban, as in like, you know, it's not that professional. You know what I'm saying? Just like a bunch of people just coming out, you know, like a bunch of people from out of the state or out of the country come and get down in your basement. It's kind of like that, you know.
Mm-hmm. So that sounds like a big moment. How about like an accomplishment?
Accomplishment? I would say Future Breaks when I took second place. Even though I took second place, I was like, man, I'm proud that that I came up this far, you know, for my generation at that time, you know. It was a big accomplishment. It was funny thing is that I was trying to get first place for a girl that I was talking to at the same time too, because she was gonna go to New York on a field trip, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try.
See you there.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to win this battle for you. And then the plane ticket was either to go to Chicago or New York. You could choose one. And I wanted to go to New York. But then I was right after the jab, I do that. No, what's funny is that like
that's probably why she didn't date you, because you got second place.
What's funny is that like at that time I didn't know what the hell first runner up mean. So then I was first runner up, Monsta Matt, and I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got up there, and then Minnesota Joe was like, what'd you get? And I was like, I don't know, you know. He was like, oh, you got second place, dude. Yeah. And I was like, for real? And he was like, yeah, it's first runner up. And I looked at it, and it's the first runner up. Because I thought first runner, I mean, like first place. Yeah. What the hell that
why did they even have that?
Yeah. They should have just had like second place, you know, whatever. Yeah, and I was, oh, dang, you know, then right after the jab, I went outside, got on the phone. I was like, sad. I can't see you. Yeah, that was
she probably like, all right, we can't talk no more.
We can't talk too much about that. My wife,
can't
talk.
I
was like,
I guess you can say, and a lot of like,
but it was a good accomplishment, you know.
Yeah, I guess you can say, and a lot of dancers can say like, your accomplishments are more like the relationships and experiences and memories, right? That you made, basically. Yeah. That's like the biggest accomplishments, more than like winning a jam, as a jam or whatever, you know.
So it's funny because so Zeus was on the podcast and he mentioned one of the biggest one was the 3v3 when you, Joe, and Zeus beat Minnesota Joe and Los Boogie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So would that be considered one for you too? Because for me, I remember that moment. I was like,
mini,
we did it.
That is
not even we, just more like they did it, man. They defeated the top dogs. Yeah.
For real, that's on top of my list too. It's just like I said, I'm kind of brain farting. Yeah, for sure that, you know. Mm-hmm. That was an amazing night. Like I think that we kind of like somewhat, you know, taking jams like that, you know, being like an underdog, like somewhat, you know, underdog to the people that went against in the finals. Yeah. Like you just show that, you know, they respect you more, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
like honestly, I feel like we just can't keep losing. Every time we battle, we just keep losing. But we were still like happy. Like, oh, okay, we'll practice until next jam. And then boom, when you guys won, I'm like, damn. So we can win. Yeah. You guys took Joe and Los Boogie. I was like, well, those two are like unbeatable. And then we took them out, like, oh, so we can win.
Yeah, and you're right. It did show a lot of, like, you know, people that actually felt that way, that, like, you know, probably gave them like a different mentality too. Yeah. And that's what we wanted to make sure that everybody realizes as well, you know. So
you guys did break the curse of Minnesota Joe and Los Boogie winning every jam.
Bro, they were undefeated for like ever, man.
They were like the Mayweather of the Minnesota B-boys.
I've always had like kids come up to me like, yo, man, like I never make it to top 16, or like I only make it to top 16 and I always lose. So like they always tell me like, man, I don't feel like I'm good enough, so I might just stop breaking. And then I always tell them, man, if you say that, imagine all the times I never made it, or always lost top 16, never made it to the final. Like I probably lost more than you've been breaking. So I just keep telling them, man, you just gotta keep doing it, be hungry. One day your day will come with it. You can't have that mentality.
It's funny because like we never, like at our time, we never asked people, hey, how come we didn't make it to top 16? Like, I think that's kind of like just a weird approach, you know.
I think it's more like the mentality when we entered. We just battled and danced because we love to dance. We didn't really care. Oh, we didn't make top 16. Like, all right, you know, like we're not like, man, I'm never making top 16. We're just like, we just love dancing, and no matter what, even without jams, we're still gonna practice, you know. So I feel like that mentality, like, you know how competition is such a big thing now in the scene. People just think about competition, you know. I guess for us at that time, we were more like, we just love breaking, you know. Like it doesn't matter about competition.
And I would say people that look at it like a competition wise, and if you have that mentality, you know, like, you know, give yourself time, you know, like be humble, cause you know it's kind of like you look ridiculous if you just, you know, trying to get bragging rights. You know what I'm saying? Like going out there and, you know, like if people respect you, they'll come up and respect you. You know, just give yourself time. I know that there's moments where you get down so hard, and you know, you get around people that you want to be respected by, you know, like, man, I just wish like he came up to me, shook my hand or something like that, or say what's up, like, man, you're nasty, you know, like if you keep a positive mindset, don't think like that, you know, like it you know, just let it come out naturally. Like I think that's the most important thing to remember. And I thought that's the best feeling, because when I was at Falling with Style, I think it was the second one, and then I saw Nasty Nate from Have a Carl. And I was like, dude, he's fucking dope. And that was when he was with Jesse Germs, and they teamed up for the 2-on-2. And then I was getting down by myself. You know, I'm just getting down, you know, practicing my footwork. Nasty Nate came up to me. He was like, hey, man, I see you. And I was like, oh, thanks, bro. He was like, what's your name? I was like, Matt. He was like, how old are you? I was like, I'm 16. He said, man, keep it up, dude. Keep it up, man. He was like, let me show you a few stuff. You know, keep your butt up more when you forward. You know, keep your butt up, so then like your formation will look a little more fresh. And ever since then, I never, you know, stopped taking that advice. You know,
I think it's also good to like mention, even for us, like if you're like a new guy or like a new dancer in the scene, and let's say like 2 years into it, right? Like us, the experienced guys in the scene, we can see like the new guys, and we're kind of low key watching you guys too. Every jam we go to, we see you. We're like, this guy got a new move, or this guy's improving a little bit, and we feel a little bit good too, because you're part of our community. You know, even though we don't talk like that. Like if you feel like hopeless, like just know people are like keeping their eye out for you too, like hoping that you improve and like hopefully you get better too. So yeah, I just want to give that too, adding on to yours. Like you may feel hopeless and stuff, like, but the good guys in the scene are like seeing you too. Maybe we just don't say anything because, you know, we keep
some
to
people, they don't want,
you know?
they're not, you know, some people are not comfortable coming up to be like, hey man, you're dope or whatever. They're looking out though, you know.
Yeah, and then I would say put yourself out there more too, because when we started, we were pretty trash, but then we were hungry. We just kept continuing. We didn't really shy away from anyone or any other battles. And then I just remember, I think the first time I met Rockstride, obviously he's gonna not remember you. And I was trash, but I remember years. And then after that, I went out of, I think I went down south somewhere. I think St. Louis, and I saw him again. I don't think it was them, but it was somewhere, and then we all said what's up to him again. He was like, hey, I remember you guys, man. Dang, I remember you guys are just super small. Now you guys are all grown up. Like, dang, you remember us, you know? But then it's kind of like they when they see you around a lot and like you're kind of pushing yourself out there, they start to kind of recognize, oh, dang, I remember these kids. And so just even if you don't come up to them and say what's up to them, just put yourself out there dancing wise, and they will start to recognize you, and they will eventually come like, hey, I remember you. Aren't you like the one guy from there?
Yeah. And I think like it's always good to just talk to like people you look up to too. Like just go up and say hi. And like anything, like the reason why a lot of us got better is because we approached a B-boy that we look up to that was better than us, and we asked him for like advice, like, hey, how can I improve on my footwork? And then, you know, they talk to you, but that's like then you built that relationship there, and when you like get to know them and know their mindset, you get better too. And like for like famous like b-boys, one thing I do is I take their workshops, you know, like I don't really care what they teach, but it's more like I want to be like feel their presence, know their mindset, and kind of like just pay my respect of like, hey, I'm taking your workshop because I respect you, you know. Just doing things like that will help you get better, and like maybe you can be seen more, I guess, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then since we're talking about that, Matt, I want to add on, like, what advices would you give for like any new b-boys or b-girls,
I haven't got down for
Or
a
just
minute.
dancers in general.
or just dancers in general?
I say, you know, explore other different areas other than just breaking, you know. I think learning, like, you know, the history of, like, DJing or, like, rapping or, like, just knowing your shit, like, I think it will, you know, broaden your mindset too, you know, make you feel more like, oh, man, this is pretty cool because, you know, it's like when I just focus on, like, breaking all the time, like, it could get sometimes very overwhelming too, even though I love it. You know, I can't do it every day. Sometimes I need a break, maybe like 2-3 days of break from it, and go back, and then I'll, you know, fulfill that energy I want to release, you know. So, yeah, I think that's probably my advice if we're talking about, you know, breaking and hip hop in general. I wanted to learn DJ, but it was just, you know, I got a life change now. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I got different goals now. But I say for my advice for people that are still, you know, studying, trying to learn hip hop in general, like, yeah, just explore different fields. It doesn't have to be DJing and graffiti and stuff like that. You can go, you know, check out like all style, you know, dances and stuff like that. I mean, to be honest, like me, like at first I wasn't a big fan of all styles until I started learning, like, okay, what is crump, you know, stuff like that. And it started getting interesting, you know. So you learn from it and you start to respect it more. So, and plus you grow up too. A lot of it has to do with growing up. But that's my piece of advice. And don't stop being humble. I think that's probably the number one key. So people won't look at you different, you know. Ran into I guess a few minor issues in my life and my, you know, breaking and stuff like that too, you know. Sometimes you build the ego and then sometimes you don't, and you learn from it, you know. Like, you know, being humble is probably like one of the smartest thing and best thing to do out there, and just study and research. Because even still to the day I study and research. I was like, man, I forgot how this feel like, you know. And that go back to our old videos and watch old videos of, you know, Ill and Ness talking and Camille them talking and some documentaries. I'm like, that same feeling that I had when I was a kid, when I wanted to learn so much, and I was like, you know, it came back. And as old as you get, you know, that feeling will come back. If you go back to those kind of, you know, researches that you did back in the days, it reminds you. So, but yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. And then kind of something that I was wanting you to talk about and tell about is, how did you get your name, Monsta Matt?
Funny thing is that I named myself Monsta Matt. I know that, like, in the b-boy community, like, an OG got to give you a name to represent what your style is. That's kind of like a respect, and then you represent that name. And obviously it has to be somebody that you really look up to and that, you know, look at you the same way. But me, like, we came from such a small scene, so I'm like, man, I'm not going to wait around for somebody to give me a fucking name, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck, you know? So I was like, so I saw this, like jam. It was, online, it was called Monsta Jam. And then I was like, damn, that jam is dope, you know? Like, I was watching it, I was like, Monsta Matt with the A, a little unique, you know, might be a little creative. And I like Monsta Matt. Hey, at first it was like Matt Monster, you know, like flipping around, because there was like, you know, for example, like at that time, like Joe from our crew, he was Moan Joe Nasty, Almighty Joe Young, you know, like it's always a Joe that I'm like, what am I gonna create a name that doesn't sound like Nasty Matt or like, you know what I'm saying, like everybody else, you know. So I wanted to make it look, I want to make it sound unique, so I was like, fuck, Monsta Matt with the A, that sounds dope. So then ever since I just stuck with that and I started representing the name. And then, you know,
I do think it doesn't have to be like an OG that gives you the name. I just like it has to come naturally, you know.
That's just a myth, yo.
Yeah, it could just be like your friends giving you a nickname, and also it just sticks. Yeah. Like when it comes to Mo, I was used to call him Mulan for fun because it was like his name was Mo, so I just called him Mulan, and he actually liked it. He was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna use Mulan," so he kind of used it for a bit, and then I eventually started calling him Mufasa, like as a joke to Mufasa, and then he was just like, "Ooh, I like Mufasa," so that's why he stuck with Mufasa.
Definitely better than Mulan.
So it doesn't have to be an OG, you know. It could just be your friends giving you nicknames. Like you guys call me Dr. Yang, but I mean, I don't. That's obviously not my b-boy name, but it's just like a nickname that you're kind of just sticks with your friends. Yeah, but I mean, it's cool if you give yourself a name too, especially because that's a dope b-boy name, you know. Yeah, it wasn't Nasty Matt at least. Yeah,
and then like
at least it wasn't my very first one. It was like Little Troll.
Little Troll. Oh man, I remember that. I thought that name was weird.
That's a troll ass name.
Man. I thought that's a weird name, man. Why you calling so that? Yeah, no, but I don't know if you remember, Matt, but you're the one who gave me my name, King Kong. I don't know if you remember.
Did I?
Yeah, we were. I
do not remember, dude.
Yeah, you gave me that name, King Kong. We just joined.
I thought it was Ken Swift that gave you the name.
Yeah. No, but it was before League of the Underground. That was like my first jam, and so we were training up, and then like I was talking to you guys about, damn, I don't know what to enter as, and then you were like, dude, just name yourself King Kong, bro. I'm like, you know, I didn't like the name King Kong, you know, because. Going on, my name is Kong, cliche, like, and then people say, "Oh, Kong, like King Kong," you know. So I didn't like it, you know. Yeah. I'm like, but I hated that name.
Now you think about why people call you Beast Boy King Kong.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I was signing up for the battle at League of the Underground. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna just call myself King Kong because Matt said so. And then boom, I just stuck, man. So I just wanted to bring that up too, that you gave me my name.
I don't even remember that, man.
Speaking of names, cool. How you your name?
Your name Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. I honestly gave myself that name because
that's a bomb ass drink,
right? It had nothing to do with the drink. So you know how there's so many Koos out there, and obviously when it comes to my own last name, a lot of people got the same last name, especially if you're a Lee. And so a lot of people I will be in class with a lot of at least one person who had the same first name as me. So whenever they say cool, we either both of us or like 3-4 of us turn. Yeah. And then I noticed sometimes they don't even call my name, or sometimes they're talking to the other person. So I got tired of that. So I thought Kool-Aid. So I thought Kool-Aid. I would just call myself Kool-Aid. So I just tell people, just call me Kool-Aid. Yeah. And then that just kind of stuck. So every time people say Kool-Aid, I was like, all right, that's me for sure. No one hears Kool-Aid, you know.
So there's really no meaning.
There was really no. Along the way, I started saying, oh yeah, because my style has flavor. But I was just saying
that's not BS.
I was just saying some BS.
That's dope.
Make it sound good.
Hey, you started wearing those Kool-Aid shirts?
Yeah, I started wearing that.
It's a plain blue with the Kool-Aid face on it.
And then it's just kind of towards later, the guys like Wotis just started calling me, oh, cool, the scientist. And then, okay. Because eventually, after I kind of earned my name, I slowly stopped having people address me by Kool-Aid. It comes a time when you kind of get the respect already. Just call me by my first name,
Yeah.
By the time I already know you're kind of addressing me. Yeah. But
don't call me
just
Kool-Aid.
Call me that in front of a room if there's 5 Koos in there, right? You call me Kool-Aid, I'll still respond to that. But then I'm kind of like, but
I'm gonna call you Kool-Aid from now on.
But then when I started kind of earning a name for myself, I was like, I kind of still went back to stick to my original, just call me Cool. Yeah. And then later on,
KOO, right?
Yeah. But people then my friends such as what they started calling, Cool the scientist, and then people don't call me that. They don't be like, hey, Cool the scientist. They still call me, hey, Cool. But they just kind of gave me that name, so I kind of just stuck to Cool the scientist. So Kool-Aid is still a nickname that I stick to, just to kind of differentiate myself from other people named Cool. Mm-hmm. But then I feel like I kind of earned the name where people are like, oh yeah, that's cool, instead of 5-10 Cools out there.
I thought Cool the scientist is pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that, I was like, damn.
I think I remember Impact saying something like that too, right? When we were breaking in front of Matt's house. And then he was like, "Dang, the scientists," because you were doing some dope ass
Yeah,
tech
he did
on
say
the
some
driveway.
Shit that we
I
don't
don't
even
know.
know.
I remember
we're
the
doing,
text
man.
like,
yeah.
"Damn, the scientists."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
So I
because you
just
do
said-
some unpredictable ass shit, and we're like, whoa, but that's nasty.
yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of
Like this.
I
you
kind of
know
like
what I'm saying?
bro, man.
That's always most hated
Bro,
move
man.
ever.
Whoa.
You gotta
hated.
test. You gotta test the hypothesis.
Oh, straight concrete, rough concrete too.
He said, "Y'all gonna do this, daddy?"
Yo, my arm, my thing's still messed up from it.
Real B-boy, yeah.
Yo, low key,
True B-boy.
Yo, low key. That's probably hard.
Bro, man, that shit hard.
That's just hard to do, low key.
Dude,
I
that
ain't
shit
even gonna
hard.
hate, bro. I ain't even gonna risk
That
it.
was
Alright,
dumb, but
yeah.
that shit was low key hard. Like, damn. Dude, that gave me permanent injury. It was like, shit.
That's how I wonder what are the
Still to
funniest
this day,
moves
some
we
people
ever
were
do,
like,
man.
why don't you do that move no more? We're like, what? Why would you ask me why don't I do that move? That move is whack. I just did that because I was feeling myself at that time. To me, I feel like that was cool.
Oh man, that shit look like it hurts.
But yeah, that was it. Now I go like cool.
But when you do one on beat, when they be like,
I feel like cool.
Yeah,
He
you
did do
know?
on beat one
Yeah.
on
It
the
was
scratch.
it's a different story, you know what
What
I'm
was
saying?
it? Chicago.
He did it on scratch.
Yeah.
Everybody, ooh.
But yeah,
Yeah.
cool the scientist. But cool the scientist is more just with the close friends.
Yeah.
They call me that because obviously they know me as they're. You guys are the one who like are close enough with me to like actually kind of realize, oh, it's cool the scientist. But other people who kind of just like know me through breaking still call me Kool-Aid. So to me, like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And then like it's more of the closer people to me that calls me cool or cool the scientist. But yeah.
Okay. And then like
Yeah,
we,
everybody has their own different names and stuff that that's true.
we've been talking about breaking for a while, but we haven't talked about your gaming side yet. If you guys didn't know, Matt has a Facebook gaming page by the name of Monsta with 2 A's. Talk a bit about your gaming page and like why did you decide to just start a gaming page?
So I do a lot of live stream for gaming, such as Call of Duty Warzone on mainly Facebook. See here, why I started. My homie brother over here, he started first, and I was like, man, I play game every day. Why not?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he started the hype, and I was like, man, both of us, we could be running and streaming together too. But unfortunately, this guy's too scared to play Warzone, so I only fuck with that right now. And it's been really competitive. I really like playing Warzone. I kind of slowed down the competitive side, but that streaming wise, I slowed down streaming recently too, just because I'm just really busy in life right now at the moment. But I will be back though. If you guys do check me out, I'm currently only streaming like once or twice a week. But I did learn a lot about PC though. That's the benefit of the doubt. Like, if you don't like playing game anymore, or if one day you want to decide to stop, at least you learn from building a PC and putting everything together. That in the long run, that's some knowledge that people will always want to gain from you. But then the gaming industry is growing so fast. I feel like Warzone's taking too much of my PC. I'm spending too much money. Like they keep upgrading and I don't like it. And I keep upgrading my parts of my PC. I'm like, man, I can't keep up with the Warzone. Like I should go back to PS5 or PS4. Like it's very hard to keep up with PC builds and update certain games. It's only certain games like Warzone's probably one of the most difficult games that you play in a PC, instead of like a console, that's difficult to manage when you're streaming. And I did learn a lot about like streaming softwares and stuff like that, just setups. And like I have no regrets, man. And just slow down now just because I'm busy. But other than that, I really enjoy it. I have a lot out there. I have a lot out there. Sorry. I have a lot of followers out there. Not much. I mean, I say like enough for me to show me love. So shout out to all my followers and my supporters. Much love to you guys. If you guys are tuning in and watching this, KDK podcast right now, I won't forget. So for sure.
So why Warzone out of all the games?
I've been playing that game for a long time. It's always been a game that I consistently play, and even though sometimes I know that I am super trash at it, I don't care. Like it's just a game that I enjoy playing. It can be very toxic sometimes. It just depends on how you look at it. Like for example, if I'm streaming and like it could get to your head sometimes. Like man, like of course people just want to see people that are good at it. But then sometimes like, man, people just want to see that they enjoy you playing it too, you know. So it could get toxic sometimes, especially when it comes to competitive playing. But Warzone, like, it's a new thing too, you know. Battle Royale, that's the first Battle Royale on Call of Duty. That shit's been popping for almost 2 years. Yeah, 2 years now, right? Always been a year.
So yeah.
Yeah, almost 2 years now. No, actually, yeah, almost 2 years now. So, I mean, and I just think that it's something that, you know, I could show people that to progress, you know. And it's like, why Warzone 2, like I said earlier, it's a very difficult game to try to stream with. So I want to put like content out there for people who wants to start streaming, because when people start seeing you stream, you know, Warzone, they get the feeling, oh, they want to start streaming too. I feel that way, because a lot of people start streaming because of Call of Duty. You know, if you research a lot of like top notch guys, like when they, like, for example, PewDiePie, you know, he's a big YouTube guy and a big streamer too. I think, yeah, he's a streamer too. He went big because of Call of Duty, you know. And then he transitioned to Roblox and Minecraft, and then he became big, you know. So it's kind of like everybody's
Call of Duty, like just multiplayer.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
I watch. Yeah,
but his breakout was Minecraft, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like
because it's time to go down to Minecraft for you.
It's about the content, you know. You gotta know which field and which niche that best fits you, you know. I'm still trying to explore that too.
And plus, you love playing COD. Like COD in general is a fun game, and you enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about playing Roblox and Minecraft, because now that I got 2 PC, my son's been asking me if he can, you know, get on my PC. I don't want to really mess up my stats on Call of Duty, so that's kind of why I'm gonna save my old PC for him. And once we move out, you know, we're moving to a new place. I'm gonna get that thing set up for, you know, the both of us, and hopefully we can run some stream together. I want to do something like a father and son bond thing. You know, I think it'd be nice. You know, maybe opening up Pokemon cards too. I see a lot of streamers are doing that nowadays. Or, you know, play some Roblox with him. You know, I when I was watching them play Roblox, I was like, this shit's pretty dope. Like, it's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, what was your plan for your page, if any? It seems like right now you're still just more focused on doing what you love and exploring things, exploring content. Is that right? Or do you
Just
have
exploring.
like a so that's your plan right now, just
Yeah.
and having fun and just sharing what you love to do, basically. Cool.
At first, I did have a few ideas, but man, I'm kind of like all over the place too, to be honest with you guys. At first, I want to like just do like private lobby war zones, you know, see where that goes. But private lobby war zone, like that mode itself, they haven't changed nothing whatsoever about it. So it's very difficult to host it for tournament wise. So that's why people go like do kill race or wagers, as in like you play public matches. And then, you know, you just go by, you know, your own stats and play whatever lobby you join publicly. So, but I know that a lot of my community or my community, my followers, they're like, I don't know, I haven't really asked, but I just know that they're more interested in the private lobby. So it's very difficult. So I kind of shy away from that, and it's kind of like, you know, I just kind of want to, you know, explore and just keep, you know, streaming Warzone and just messing with settings. So right now I'm just trying to understand more about PC builds, because that's like the thing that everybody always asks about your builds. How's it running? Let me know. You know, there's people that would, you know, interested to watch you play, but that will always happen no matter what, you know what I'm saying? But you have to, you know, my content basically right now is more like just, you know, troubleshooting.
Have you recorded yourself build your PC?
No. I was actually thinking about time lapsing it, but the thing is, did I say that right?
Time lapsing.
Time lapsing. Yeah.
You forgot the P.
But the thing is that, to be honest, like it took like 2 days though, because I started late. I started probably like 8 p.m. to put my PC together, but this is like the very first time I actually, you know, touched base with my PC and put the components together. Because my first PC, my brother-in-law put together, and I just kind of watched him, and then I did the cable management. But I learned that cable management is really difficult when you have a lot of RBGs running into your PC. So
okay. And then, like, before we transition to our closing 3 questions, is there anything you want to talk about or any messages you want to give out before we transition to those 3 closing questions?
No, not really.
Quick, another question. So, what other games would you like ever go into to stream besides Roblox, COD, or Minecraft? Like, are there any one that you're kind of open-minded to streaming?
I want to do more story mode, so I have a
Shoot,
a
because you
monitor.
know me, yeah.
I
I
have
love
a-
story, single-player games.
Like I have a monitor specifically for story mode. So it's like a not a 4K, a 1440p monitor. It's a really good monitor, and that's gonna be my story mode monitor. So I just haven't gotten it set up yet, but I'm aiming for like good quality and story mode. Maybe not with the dash cam, just because I think people would probably just enjoy the story mode. So I was watching this guy, his stream, and he doesn't talk whatsoever, and there's like a bunch of people just watching because they just like watching the story mode. So I kind of want to go just that route for a few games, Yeah, he streams it, but then he doesn't have he doesn't have a mic. He doesn't use a mic. He doesn't use like a face cam. Yeah, he's just straight up gameplay, and he gets like a bunch of people viewing him. So I feel like that's kind of like could be less stressful, more relaxing.
Shoot.
But then I'm sure people want to interact too, because since I started it that way already, But
think, like,
we'll see how it goes.
I think like if you just add yourself talking, that'll be fine. What for me, I don't really watch too much streams. It's because my attention span is not that far out. So I'll try to jump into a stream for a bit, leave like a little message, and then like, all right, I'm gonna jump off.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm more into people who actually like already pre-record it and edit it and then upload it.
Oh, like
Or
highlights
like-
and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like
Or walkthroughs and all that.
walkthroughs.
Yeah, I need to start shooting. more
I know like a
content
lot of
stuff
people
like
that play a game, they like watching walkthroughs. Because I remember when I played Resident Evil 2, the remake, I was kind of scared of just doing random shit because I was like, what if I miss this, miss that? Man, I'm gonna go watch a walkthrough, so I just go watch people do walkthroughs, and then obviously they like talk in there too, or I just watch like people do a compilation of whatever game they're playing. So that's what I'm more into. Live streams I'll watch here and there, but it's more like I know what I want to watch, so I'm just gonna search for that already, and then people already have that stuff pre-recorded. So have you ever thought about just like doing like live, just like a
Pre-recorded
compilation
content.
of all your kills on COD, and then maybe you edit it and then put it out there?
I
people to
did.
watch, like, oh, this guy's pretty good,
Yeah, I did, and I'm like, ain't gonna lie, kind of lazy. I'm like, man,
Takes
Yeah, it's a
work.
lot of work.
it takes about like 2-3 hours. Like I already play game for like 3-4 hours. Like that's another 2-3 hours. Like it's like I will eventually though. To be honest with you, I will eventually. It's just that, I'm still learning myself too. I'm not like good. Like I'm still practicing, still trying to get better. So that's one of the big reasons why is I don't make highlights. I do have like pretty nasty kills sometimes, but I don't have them often. You know what I'm saying? Like enough. So I have to go into probably like 5-10 different type of recording videos and try to put all my best kills together. To make it one video like that, and that's gonna take way too damn much time. So I'm just gonna see how much time does it take me to get better. If it takes too long, forget this game. I'm not streaming this game no more, man. Like this game just taking too much time.
Yeah. But I'm like, there's definitely like a crowd for live streaming and then like pre-recorded content. Because I would say I'm more like a pre-recorded content guy. Like I want to know exactly what I'm watching, right? Because I'm like cool when I watch live streams. I'll stay for like 5 minutes, but then I'm gonna head out, But for me, I'm part of the crowd that prefers pre-recorded. Like, cause I want to see like top, like amazing kill streak. I'm like, all right, I know what I'm watching, so I'm gonna watch it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I guess like that would be like a good idea to explore if you ever like thought of it too, because I'm part of that crowd where I like to watch pre-recorded versus like live stream. But there are like people like live stream because they can interact with the gamer and all that. So, but that's not really how I am too. So,
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest difference too, when you're the person who's doing the streaming, the only way you get paid is by going live. So that's why going live is a method for a streamer, because well, at least I don't know how to get paid doing pre-created content, right? But
Unless you do it on YouTube.
But I know how to get paid by going live on Facebook, and they make it easy enough to where you can actually get paid for that. But then I'm actually also one of those guys too, where it comes to certain games where I want to just watch pre-recorded. But then when it comes to, let's say, like Madden or 2K, and if it's somebody I'm a fan of, then I'll actually sit and watch their whole game. But then I am more on the pre-recorded content when it comes to certain games. But
And didn't you win a competition?
One, yeah. It was the first Monk Warzone 2021.
That's right.
Call of Duty tournament.
How'd that go? Was it pretty easy?
I don't know. It was pretty like it was our first tournament, so we didn't know what to expect. Our first few, because it was best out of 5, or actually it was 5 games, and then best results win, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 5 games. Was it 5 games or 3? I forgot. I think it was only 3 games.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Yeah, it was 3 because I think Governor Mijos his was 5 games. Yeah, 3 games. Yeah, so best result wins. Our first game we were hella nervous. Like we were because we know that like it was a Monk Warzone tournament, right? We were like, oh, these Monk guys are probably sweaty as hell. Like, I got the grip tape. Right? I got the grip tape and everything on my controller too. Like
this dude got all ready. Boy got ready.
Like I was like, man, like I have to play Bgirl from like I play so different. Like I play way better when I play tournaments compared to like public matches. Obviously, it's like because public match sometimes you want to take it serious, sometimes you don't. You know, but when it comes to competition, obviously. Yeah, but that was a good experience. Second tournament we took second place, but we had like the top dogs in that lobby that was playing, and those guys are like it's like professionals. I was playing, no, they're not professional. They probably no, we're not professional. But they're good. They're good. I'll tell you that they're good. They got one guy in their squad that could be a pro. He's really good. Still a young guy too, not too young, but he can make it to pro. But it was a good experience. I wish that more people will host more Warzone tournaments, man. I'm tired of hosting them sometimes. It's a headache, man. I think I've already done because when Private Lobby Warzone came out, I think it was the beginning of this year in January, and I started hosting them. I did like 2-3 like a week. And I was like, man, I'm not gonna do this no more, man. And then
it's a lot of work, dude.
Yeah, and then one of the homies on that supported me, he went on the Monka page. He was like, hey man, you guys gotta respect the host because it ain't easy, shout outs to Monsta, for hosting and stuff, because you got all these people that are accusing each other hacking, and you gotta deal with that, and then it make you lose face too, because it's kind of like, especially if it's like, for example, people personally, they're like, man, I don't want to be in live because some hackers, then you kind of have to approach it in the best way you can, and just so that people will come back too. What I'm saying? So, but they don't, they don't, what I'm saying? It's all about, if they want to support me, for what I do, and they look at the price side, that's all that really matters, like if it's something that's free too, don't like, what is it?
Don't complain.
Don't complain.
Play the game,
yeah, it's like,
it's all about the game.
but then like some people are probably some people are probably just complaining just for the hell of it because it's natural.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wait around for the lobby to start because we've played in the lobby before, and it takes like 2 hours to run 3 games when you can run 3 games in 20 minutes in a regular public.
No, but the crazy part, that's true. Like when you load in, right? Let's say for example you get like boom, the amount of people you need. Like let's say if I made an announcement, I know it takes 50 people to start a lobby, but I was like, if I can get like, if I can get 100 people in, because you got 50 people to start a lobby, right? But you got like 140 people signed up. Mm-hmm. For you to start for a lobby that's only with 50 people, you're kind of being a little selfish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you're like, man, like you compare then the other 100 is gonna hate me for starting the lobby. Like you just think about that. We're like, you're gonna have people that probably doesn't want to support you no more. So you gotta think about a lot of those things when you host private lobbies. And then let's say for example you get a full lobby going, right? And you start the match. As soon as everybody queue in the match, boom, you got 50 people who got disconnected. Yeah. And then those 50 people, you're gonna get messages, Facebook messages like, hey man, we got disconnected. And especially with the tournament, that's why I say I don't want to do tournaments for those kind of reasons. I did one, but it was free. It's a big headache. Like I can't, man. Like you got DSL, if you got DSL internet, and you know what I'm saying? Like if you're playing Wi-Fi and you got like some slow internet, and you're complaining to me that you keep getting disconnected, that's kind of your fault. You know what I'm saying? I can't control that. You
gotta write down some contract rules. Yeah. When you join, disconnect. That's you, man.
Yeah.
And stuff like you don't join in on time and we start. That's on you.
Yes, sir. So that's the experience of Warzone tournaments and stuff like that. But I will be hosting more eventually.
Okay. Dope. All right. Any more questions or anything y'all want to talk about before we move to the last 3 closing questions?
Just want to say, Matt, my breaking style will not be what it is without you, brother.
Hey, you need to stop saying
No,
that.
for real, like that's truth, man. Because I still remember the exact moment we was breaking in front of Moore's house on the driveway, and that's when I still just did scrambles, you know, like, just kick your feet around and do whatever, right? Like, and I thought I had some pretty cool patterns, and then Matt was like, "Yo, check it out. Here's a 6-step. Here's a 7-step. Here's a 12-step." And I was like, "Damn, that shit was smooth and fresh." And then I tried it. You taught me how to do it. And boom, that
And then
changed.
you became the footwork master in Minnesota,
changed,
man.
We got Master Matt now.
that changed.
Not
Matt.
master with the A.
Yeah.
Not ER.
Like,
Master
Master
A.
Matt.
Master Matt.
And that changed everything for me, you know,
Yeah.
to like really learn how to do footwork legitly. And I really took it and tried to master it, you know. So, you know, thank you for that. You know, you changed.
I always do.
You
like,
changed that for me. So I just wanted to say that
I'm
too.
glad
Yeah.
that I could pass that knowledge, from somebody I learned to, you guys too. I didn't learn that on my own. I have people that taught me. A lot of people, like Los Boogie from Minnesota. He's taught me a lot about top rock. Taught me the Indian step. I remember the first time he taught me the Indian step, and I was like, "Why?" Oh, now it makes sense why you call it Indian step, because it's an actual Indian step.
Yeah,
Because if you go back to like the native time, where how they dance, they're actually doing the fucking step like that.
Yeah.
Like that's dope.
Yeah.
Like when I started learning that, I want to learn more about top rock, like
Mhm.
where his origination is from. You know what I'm saying? We could like really develop our own style too, and like Hmong dance. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, and that's when people will start to see your style. Like something like that. Like you originate something that people haven't seen, like, but then they know that you're doing all the other fundamentals that they're aware of. So I think that's like what was really dope when you start to learn fundamentals, and then you start to create your own, on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely do like. I'm glad that was a big life experience for you. I appreciate the love. At the same time too, without you guys, I probably won't even be, as far as where I'm at too. Like you guys have gone beyond, me too at the same time too, and I look up to you guys as well. And it should be like that. With everybody. It's not that, oh, I learned this first, I'm gonna, try to, keep myself ahead. It's like, we stay together, and we keep each other on the same level, unless you really want to go be rebel beast. Good luck, man. But yeah, for sure.
So just wanted to add that really quick before we go to our ending questions. You guys are good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. I just want to add though, back at that time you were like the B-boy with the B-boy essence back in the Minnesota, because everyone just about moves, while you were more about the movement. So I would say like watching you and being next to you and training with you, like just having your presence there, seeing your mindset, like you helped me have my own B-boy, understand like the true essence of breaking too, so just want to say that too.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm really glad that, I did, like you said, change it in a way for the Hmong community, but I wasn't the only one. If at that time, like if Hmong people knew about like Sequel, Imagine, and like Joe and Craze and all those guys, they probably would have been at the same mindset as me. But I'm just glad that I could actually use that knowledge that I learned from them, and teach it to, pass it through, like everybody.
Master Matt.
Master Matt.
Yeah. Last thing for me too. Like I feel like you, and I would say Lil Zal from Optimistic Crew.
Oh, hell
or
yeah.
Two guys were like,
Shout out to Lil Zal,
Yeah,
man,
like
from
swag,
OC Crew.
yeah.
Hell
what
yeah.
they were doing, so
Lil
like,
Zal,
damn.
man.
Y'all had swag. Y'all had a movement
Shout
that
out to
was like,
OC,
yo,
man.
no, I
Love
don't
y'all,
really
man.
see
Yeah.
Hmong break dancers do any of that. So I'm like, damn, you guys kind of made everyone in the Hmong community kind of had to up their game,
Mhm. It's great because like when Breakbats, like you guys, before we recruited you guys, right? We knew Jake and them too.
Yeah.
But then I knew you guys, like, but I didn't know you guys.
Yeah.
I was just like, these are Zeus's little nephews, like, but these motherfuckers are nasty too. Like, I know, like, they got their own crew for Park Center. But then when I met like Jake and them, we did shows together. We did shows at the Guthrie and shit. And then like that's how we met Jake and them. And I'm like, oh, cool, you know what I'm saying? Because Sean introduced us to them, So then like, I was like, it's cool, and then everything just started falling together, I'm like, next thing you know, collaboration broke apart. Everybody went their own ways, and then I started hanging out with Zeus more. And then Zeus was getting down in his basement by himself, like, man, this motherfucker still getting down after we broke up. Like, man, I still want to get down. Like, just because we broke up doesn't mean I don't want to get down no more. So I always hit him up, be like, yo, I'm coming over. Yeah. And then I met you guys. You guys all like,
yeah, I was just watching y'all and shit. Like, damn,
watch y'all. It's crazy.
And I'm glad that you guys became comfortable, because I mean, that's your uncle. You guys should never feel that way,
Uncle.
Cousin, cousin.
Uncle.
Your cousin, that's your cousin. You guys should never feel that way. You guys, like, I don't even know how Zeus became a part. I know how he became a part of a crew, but I just don't know how you guys didn't inform your own crew yet. Like how come Zeus? Like, you guys should have been up there instead of us. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, we were like little ass kids.
You guys were.
We were little ass kids.
I mean, we're only a year apart.
Yeah,
And
once
then
we
we're
met
like
each other,
3 years
we were
apart.
Like, what the fuck? We're only like a few years apart.
Yeah. Like, I ain't 30, man. Like, what? I ain't that old, man.
But all right, Matt. So ending questions. We like to ask all of our guests their top 5 games, because we all love to play games. So top 5, starting with number 5.
As much as I hate this game, top 5, number 1 first?
5 first.
5 first? Okay. Man, dude, honestly, I play.
Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2.
There's a lot of games that I haven't.
Don't play much games, but Call of Duty.
Yeah. I really don't play much games like Call of Duty. But then I should have played some games that were nominated, and I was like, I just wanted to stick to Warzone I just wanted to stick to Warzone. But I would say top 5, I mean, I haven't played any other games for a while, so I'm gonna name some old school ones. Yeah, for sure. Like Last of Us, man.
Number 5.
It's not even 5. It's
I was gonna say number 5's a disrespect. Yeah.
Top 5, man. Why 5? Why not just 3, man?
You can name 3 if you don't have 5. Okay. We'll go with 3 with you then.
Yeah, if I have the other 2, I'll let people know. But we'll do the 3.
You message them. Yeah.
Put it down on the comments,
2 that
man.
are missing.
Put on a comment.
So number 3 then.
Yeah. Number 3. See here. I gotta really think about this though. I think too hard now. Because I haven't played much game for a while. Let's see here. I really like Batman.
Which one? Oh, Arkham Asylum?
Yeah, I think it was like the second one though. You introduced me to that game, and then I started playing. I was like, this game is pretty badass. Yeah. So that was probably. I'll start with top 4. Like cause now I'm coming up with other games too now. I used to mess with what's that dude with the lightning again? He does lightning. He goes around the city.
Infamous.
Yeah.
Oh,
Infamous.
okay.
Infamous 1 was one of my favorite games too.
Infamous.
I really like I don't know what kind of gameplay is that. I think it's an RPG or is
It's
that
like action,
person,
adventure.
Yeah. I really like those kind of games. So it was like for sure Infamous, and then it was Dark Knight Part 2. I don't know what it's called, and then Spider-Man. When Spider-Man came out, which was probably like last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Not the PS5, not Miles Morales, but the one before that one.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, the one before that. Because it reminded me a lot of Dark Knight Asylum.
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum, and then Infamous, and then top 2 for sure. I gotta give it out to Last of Us. Mm-hmm. Last of Us, man, that game. I don't know why they don't make multiplayer for Part 2, but yeah, multiplayer on that was the shit. Yeah, and the story mode was the shit.
Did you play Part 2?
Not yet.
What? You crazy? Yeah,
I told you. Dude, don't worry. I'm
starting
my story mode stream pretty late.
I replayed that shit today, and I was like, I need to beat this shit again on the hardest mode just to experience it again. Yeah. If you have you need to play Part 2.
Yeah, and I need to get on Ghost of Tsushima too.
Tsushima,
right? Tsushima.
I don't even remember.
That's your
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, Tsushima.
Yeah,
that's your one.
No, I want to play that. I haven't played those 2 games yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but my number 1, man, is Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah, I was like, what? You didn't say Warzone for your number 1?
Yeah. Warzone is number 1.
So not even like the not like Modern Warfare or anything, just specifically Warzone.
Yep, just specifically Warzone, not story mode. I stopped playing story mode since Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
So Black Ops 2 story mode was really good though. Mm-hmm. I really like that. But after multiplayer, just was it cross platforms? I think when they started doing cross platforms, that's for Battle Royale. Sorry, never mind.
Okay,
yeah.
that's dope.
Okay.
List. Yeah.
All right, and then my question is, because I love to hear ghost stories. Have you ever experienced any ghost experiences? And if so, can you tell us like your most scariest ghost experience?
Most scariest ghost experience. When I was like probably like 3. It's crazy how I remember it.
You're 3, man.
Yeah,
You
3
sure?
or
It's,
4.
you sure you remember that shit?
4. I think it was 4. I think I gotta be 5, 4 or 5.
I don't
Around
know
there.
if you can remember your memories if you're 5 and under. I think it's like 6
Dude,
or
trust me.
7.
I remember when I was like 3 months.
I remember some people were like, yeah, I started singing when I was like 3 years old. I'm like, what? How do you even
Well,
remember?
okay.
I gotta be like 5 though. I think
Yeah.
I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I had to be like 5. I don't know. I don't remember every single thing. I just remember like glimpse of it because I was so young. But all I remember was that I was sick as fuck. Like I had a fever and everything, you know, sweaty, and I was sleeping in my bed. And it was at the side by side house in Brooklyn Park, and I was just in the room by myself sleeping. All of a sudden, I see the blanket lift up like this,
Whoa.
and I was like,
Like the blanket that you were wearing, or
no, the
different
blanket that, because like our bed, like it's like 3 beds that's like pushed together, you know, in one
Oh.
bedroom, so that I'll be on one end. I was sleeping at the end next to the window, and then next to the closet was you know, the other beds that pretty much nobody was sleeping on, but there was blanket there. The blanket just lift up, and I was tripping out. I was like, man, this gotta be a ghost. So I ran out real quick, and I was sick, and I started crying to my mom. I always tell my brother the story, and when I told them, they were making fun of me. They're like, "Oh, I'll tell you guys once I get to that point." So then I went to go cry to my mom, and then my dad comes out of nowhere with the water, you know, saying like the shaman stuff, and spits water at you, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of like some, you know, holy water.
Yeah,
in-
your
in
dad
some
is
way.
a shaman, right? Or-
Yeah, he's a shaman. He's a shaman, but a different type of shaman though.
Yep.
I forgot what kind of shaman. I think is through. I forgot, but he's like the only one in my Shon clan that knows how to that knows that shamanism way. So he was pretty much gifted, special in some way. But yeah, I don't know too much about it. But yeah, he was, you know, doing the, you know, thing on me, and I was crying, and then I was pointing at that motherfucker that came, you know, that was under the bed. He was in the hallway.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I saw it. You know, I saw it because
What
I
it
don't-
look like?
all black.
Oh yeah.
All
damn.
black, long hair. It just really, I don't remember too much, but I just knew that was all black. But then like that dude was like kneeing down, and then he was looking like at me, you know. And then my dad pretty much just chased him outside. My dad didn't see him though. My dad just went there, you know, just blow it over there,
Mhm.
and then boom, like he just disappeared. But that's like only glimpse of it of what I remember. You know, that's probably one of the most paranormal thing I ever experienced. I'm like, ever since then, I'm like, shit, ghosts are real, you know. Ghosts are real.
Damn.
I don't believe in it too much now, because I don't know, sometimes I feel like, man, I want to see these guys sometimes too. like I'm getting old, man. Like I
Don't
would
ask for
like,
it, man. If you
yeah,
ask for
but-
it, you'll
but-
see
but-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But then there is another time too, though, if you guys want me to tell you that.
Wait, but
that
you didn't
story.
get to why your siblings was making fun of you.
Oh yeah. So as we got older, and then I told them that story, and they don't really remember it. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Matt used to always be sick." Cause hold on, I think I got some markings on my arm. Where, you know, my dad does the blood thing too. Do you guys ever do that? Where he pokes blood, and then he put the blood all over you and stuff with oil.
No.
never
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah, so it's like some. It's kind of crazy too. It's like, when I did that, I was like, no,
Yeah,
the blood start bleeding, and he rubs the blood all over you with the egg and then like the silver and
The
everything.
egg, yeah,
the egg and the
yeah.
silver, you know.
Huh.
But then when he does the blood thing, he puts some type of like mint oil, you know, rub it on you like this, and I'm like, this shit weird as fuck. Like it's like some, you know, black magic shaman and shit. Like it was kind of scary, but anyway, so the story. So when we got older, I told my brother the story. And he was like, man, he probably just, you know, smoking a cigarette, looking at you like, you know, like it wasn't that funny, but they kept making fun of me. Like it's probably wasn't even a ghost because you were so young, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I know this though, like as young as I was, like that shit was traumatizing, you know. And then I'm sure that when you're like 4 or 5 years old and you're traumatized by something, you're probably gonna remember when you talk about like I don't even remember until you asked me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was another time where I got older where I did experience something that was pretty crazy, but it wasn't that like scary, you know. But you know how like what's it called? Lơ đá.
Is that what? Like,
Oh, sorry, I'm speaking about like when
Is that
that
what
what
they
they
kill
kill
the
the
cows
cow?
out there?
yeah, when they kill the dog, kill the cow,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then they have the bone arrows in the forest just to make sure that
yeah,
bad spirit ain't invited. Then they put the little like in the tent. People cry in the tent. Yeah, and then when I see people crying in the tent, one time I walked past the tent, I see them like standing in front of the people that are crying like this, just like this, all bloody, and I was like, no freaking way, I ain't even gonna look no more, cause like all the other kids, they're like, man, go by dude, and then you know when they cry like that, especially when it's getting late too, like it's scary, and they camp out there for like I think 1 day, yeah, so they stay there for 2 days, and you're in the barn in the woods, you know, it's like.
Wait, why do they do that again?
I honestly,
like Hmong people, you know.
I honestly don't, cause I haven't gone to one like
It's been a
for a
while.
long time.
I don't know if I've been to one, but I think I remember like seeing shit like that. People crying in the tent or some
Yeah.
shit.
Well, I ain't never seen that.
I think I have, but I don't know, man.
Maybe
dolls.
maybe our viewers can you know, probably put on a comment
Man,
what Lơ
that's
đá is, you know.
stupid, yeah.
I just know that it's like it's very. I don't think much people do it much anymore,
Yeah,
cause it's too. I think it's too extreme, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's too extreme.
that shit kind of weird.
Just listen. Just
Can't be to
translate.
another
Just
level.
translate the word Lơ đá. It doesn't even sound good. Sound like you're
I
burning.
guess
You're
The word
burning a
dies, like
demon.
Ghost
You
of
know.
Monster Among.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Okay.
that's kind of creepy. Yeah.
All right. So my question is, what would you rather choose? The breaking career that you've had, or let's say you could start over again, but you use all that time to game, and now you become the #1 gamer in the nation. Which one would you choose?
to
Would you
become
ra-
the #1 or keep breaking or become #1 gamer.
Yes, you can only choose one. So if you take yourself back when you first
Easy,
started
man. I'm gonna get too old. I can't break no more.
breaking.
I'm gonna become
Okay.
#1. Let's get it.
Okay,
Why
yeah.
wouldn't he become #1
Yeah, why-
gamer?
why-
He's
Well,
a
no,
Or
million
no,
you
dollar.
mean
like
become?
top.
If I could take back
Yeah, all
my
that time
B-boy
breaking,
career.
and then you just focus on
Yeah.
gaming, and then you like right now you're like the top gamer in the nation, and you're like super famous.
So either become #1 B-boy, take back, right?
No, not even normal. Just
Oh,
What you already have.
what you already have, or erase all that and all through all those times you just game, and now you're like the #1 gamer in the world. Which one would you rather have?
would I have B-boy? Or would I have gaming streaming and be #1?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Breaking, you're not #1. Though.
I
Breaking
can't
is
have
just
both.
what
Why
you
you
did.
making me choose, man?
No, you have to choose one, and why?
It's hard. That's really hard. I would say, probably gaming.
Okay, why?
Yeah. I feel that like gaming is like a lot more entertaining and in some way because b-boying is like a culture, like you can't really treat it as in like something that's entertaining all the time, It's kind of like that's like two different categories we're talking about right there,
Yep. So
What
then,
I'm
It's just
choosing-
hypothetical.
So let's just say,
Yeah.
hypothetically. But let's just
Yeah.
say, like, now you're #1 gamer, but you don't
What's
know anything
hypothetical?
about hip hop.
like it's like it'll never happen.
Yeah,
we're
it's
just
just
talking
like
just
what
for
is,
the shit of
what
it.
is.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you don't know anything about hip hop. You just you
oh,
might listen to country music or some shit, As a #1 gamer.
okay. So you're saying, all right,
or you might hear hip hop, but you don't know what you know now, obviously, because you were breaking. But
yeah,
erase all of that. You just focus on gaming, and you become #1 gamer. But obviously, you don't have the knowledge that you have of hip hop because you were focusing on gaming.
okay,
You
okay,
know.
got you.
So which one would you rather have?
So just to learn from the beginning, yeah, pretty much.
Basically, a life of
Yeah.
breaking or a life
Life
of
of
gaming,
gaming,
basically.
yeah.
Shoot, life of breaking, bro.
No, you said gaming. I'm just
Bullshit.
kidding.
Bullshit.
I'm trying to understand the question because you're saying like, so
So
to
you
start
never-
a new life, would I want to start
Pretty
as a
much
b-boy
like-
or would I
Basically, if
start
you
as
could
gamer?
start over
Yeah.
And
uh,
you don't take the
to be a
breaking pad, but
gamer,
you
you
take the
could
gaming
be
pad.
yeah.
So anything you learn about breaking, you don't know obviously because you took the gaming pad.
Yeah.
So obviously you might know.
Basically, would you
mainstream
do it
hip-hop,
over
but-
again
yeah.
and be the number one gamer
instead of
and not live
breaking?
that breaking experience?
No, I would be breaking. You know, I think, yeah, I would be breaking. It's just because I ran into a lot of injuries. I can't break the same, so it kind of unmotivated sometimes. But that's kind of why I went to breaking. And plus with quarantine and COVID, you know, getting all personal now and shit. But yeah, you know, a lot you know, but breaking for sure. Why? Because that's probably one of the biggest impacts that ever actually happened in my life. To be, you know, talk about it. I know these to start new, you know. You know, but I don't, you know, if I was a gamer starting new, I'd be big ass dude probably, you know what I'm saying? Like just, you know, not as motivated.
Way to stereotype
Yeah.
it.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Gamers
kidding.
don't work out.
Yeah,
I was kidding, sorry.
stereotyping
I'm
gaming.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Antisocial and shit.
Hey, I got
yeah.
an eating disorder now, man. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Like gaming's fun, you know, but I can't. Like I'm already getting tired of playing game every single day sometimes too. Like you need to go out there and do something sometimes.
That's true.
Sitting there like, dude, sometimes you're just sweating for no reason. Like
That's
for
true,
real.
man. I'm not gonna lie. I feel the
I
same
guess
way.
it's a bit
Oh,
difficult because if you're talking about hypothetical, there's one that you've already did, and there's the other
Yeah.
one that you're just thinking about hypothetical. Let's say if you were a gamer, you were like super famous, super rich, if we were to tell you, would you choose breaking? You'd probably be like, nah.
Yeah, obviously.
You know? But
Yeah.
it's-
Obviously,
but, you know, I
because
guess
you're
it's different.
experienced.
too.
what
If you're-
you did, you know?
So you're saying if I became rich, of course I'll do a
I
stream.
mean, I'm
yeah.
sure a fame,
Yeah.
super.
Dude, you're top
gamer's
number
gonna be
one
super
gamer. You'll
rich.
be a millionaire, man.
Yeah.
Like, would you?
But that's hypothetically speaking. So it
Yeah,
doesn't-
it's
it's kind of like
I say I
just
want to
talking
do
just to
something,
talk.
and if it has to do with like b-boying or gaming, I want to do something where I can actually live comfortably, like loving what I do. And I say, you know, I'm still exploring gaming, you know, as a streamer though, and there you know up and down, you know, like for b-boying, like when I first started, there wasn't really an up and down. It was always a up feeling. You know? like Super Saiyan. Like, you know? But then like for gaming, it's kind of like, you know, I really only do play one game now. Maybe I do need to, you know, play the other games, which I want to do. And I want to play older games actually, but I can't find those games, you know. So if you guys can, you know, find what is it, Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, I want to get that shit back. That was a dope game. What?
I never played that game.
That game was dope. I was a beast in that game. I killed everybody in that game. That game was dope. You know, and then was it a Street Fighter puzzle? I can't find that game nowhere. That game's pretty dope. Yeah, I want to play some old school games, you know, just for the heck of it.
But ultimately, you choose the breaking lifestyle over gaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Any last words or questions before we close it out?
And
Matt,
all right,
cool,
since you're talking about playing old games, do you ever like have people request you playing different games?
Not really.
Not really.
Talk about my viewers, my
Yeah,
followers.
like ever people ever like, or maybe you ever ask like, "Dang, what game you guys want me to play?"
I do. Sometimes, like, when I ask, nobody's not really there, too.
Oh yeah.
You got, like, 2 people watching. Like, of course, those 2 people ain't want to talk, so.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if I got, like, 500 viewers, then obviously somebody might say something. But,
True. True.
you know, it takes time, you know? Like, a lot of times when you talk to the mic, you got to pretend that nobody's there, because that's got to be the mentality. I learned it from a different streamer, you know? And he was like, yeah, if you, because you know, you got to talk to yourself. You know, you got to practice talk to yourself. You know, like I do it all the time in the mirror. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. or maybe not even when you're streaming. Like maybe put like a post up there. Like just put a post, see people comment instead of like saying it while you're streaming.
You about to be like, no, you're the private lobby guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
that.
what I'm still known for too, though. Like people like they know me for like private lobby Warzone hosts for Hmong people. You know what I'm saying?
But,
But then there's
that's a good rep,
but you know what's dope?
Yeah.
Like I got some guys from New Zealand, Europe. They hit me up see if they want to be a part of it too.
Dang,
So you know, like I'm like thinking like I might just broaden like you know my followers because I mean the more the merrier, right? Why not?
You
You know?
should, might as well.
So you used to organize b-boy events. Now you organize gaming events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
I can't do everything, man. Somebody got to host b-boy events, but nobody wants to, man. Should I go back and host b-boy events?
Shit, you go for it, man. That shit headache, man. I stopped. I quit. I
How
throw
much
in the
you
white
get in
flag. That shit is too
Was it
much.
in the
man.
Midwest?
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of jams, but anyways, Any other last words?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, guys. Again, follow Matt on his Facebook gaming page, Monsta, Monstaa. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out.
Peace out, yo.